All right, let's get it going, shall we? Greetings and salutations, everybody. Good morning. It is week 13, and we're ready to get everything going. We're going to talk about some starts and sits going into this Sunday's games. Again, there are a couple games today, Monday and Tuesday, so we're going to get prepared for that. There's a couple players that, despite not practicing for the entire week, will be good to go. I think Julio Jones is going to be played. That's a player that I did not include, if I'm not mistaken, in my rankings earlier this week. We'll talk about where he sits. Also, Jonathan Taylor, where his value kind of sits. J.K. Dobbins. There's a lot of valuable prospects that are potentially out there that should be starting for your team this week. We'll cover all of that. Again, thank you guys for coming by this Sunday morning, supporting the channel. If you guys can, and you're already here, click that like button. Really does make a difference. Again, let's get into it, shall we? All right. So, as you can see on screen, I'm ready to just, I'm ready to get to it. I mean, let's be honest. This is the make or break week for many of us, right? I have leagues in which I still haven't clinched it yet, and I got to go ahead and catch a W in week 13 in order to ensure my spot in the fantasy football playoffs weeks 14, 15, 16. So, these are currently updated rankings. I don't know how much more I can say it. Hopefully, you can see it. It's as clear as day. Top 16 quarterbacks, top 36 running backs, wide receivers, top 16 tight ends. All of it is up to date. Those are my weekly predictions above my head. The best matchups at each position based on fantasy points given to opposing quarterbacks, tight ends, running backs, wide receivers. All of that kind of jazz. The players that are out on the very left side of the screen, DeAndre Swift, probably going to miss with the illness that he's dealing with currently, which is unfortunate considering the last time we saw him, he was an absolute animal. Josh Jacobs is going to miss. Devontae Freeman's on the COVID list. Alexander Madison had an appendectomy surgery yesterday, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, just crazy stuff going on. Salvin Ahmed is probably out. I think Mark Ingram's also out on the COVID list. So there's a couple players missing. I think James Conner probably not going to return tomorrow, which is unfortunate, but Benny Snell, an available option for many of you. Kenny Galladay still out. Jonnu Smith out. Mark Andrews, Daniel Jones, Ryan Fitzpatrick, because Tua is going to be playing. All right, so hopefully that kind of covers everything for you guys. Let's get into this, shall we? Hopefully everybody's ready. Again, it's just a matter of, let's see how many questions we can rip through. I got to stay up to date on these questions before we get, lost in the dirt here. Okay, here we go. So, Jeff Berkowitz, thank you very much, says PPR David Johnson or Frank Gore. I need a high floor. Okay, well, the high floor, it just depends purely on whether or not, what's his name is playing. You know what, to be honest, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really trust the Houston Texans running attack, and that's why I'm kind of just leaning towards Gore first and foremost. As you can see from my rankings, I mean, it's pretty fair, but at this point, I'm thinking, okay, David Johnson's probably still going to split with Duke Johnson, and Frank Gore has that backfield all to himself in a really advantageous matchup. So in terms of a high floor, I don't think either of them pose that high of a floor, but if you want the 10 points, I think Frank Gore is going to probably be in line with that this week. So Frank Gore is my suggestion there. And then your second question was Higgins or Pittman. I'm going with Michael Pittman Jr. against the Houston defense, which will be missing their number one cornerback. Phillip Rivers is playing despite dealing with a toe injury, and he should be good to go feeding the ball in Pittman's direction. So those are my two suggestions, Gore and Pittman. Thank you very much, Jeff. Let's see here. There was a question sent in from Ido, but for some reason it was not attached to said donation. So if I can go ahead and find it, that would be... No, okay, so there wasn't a question attached. Ido Frodom, if you can, send in a question if you have one. Otherwise, thank you very much for the donation. Moving on. Gavin says, I need an RB2 and a flex, full PPR. Montgomery, Julio, Booker, and Drake. Okay, those are some good questions. As of right now, in a full PPR format, again, nice. I mean, David Montgomery is probably my lead out of those three running backs to be the RB2 this week, basically because of the matchup. I mean, he's got clean matchups rest of the way. He's coming off of a really good one in which he obviously produced very well in a game in which it wasn't even competitive and he wasn't able to get more than 11 rushing attempts. So imagine if he's going to get the ball for majority of the second half because it's a closer contest. And I think, again, so David Montgomery, as of right now, a good spot there. And he also catches a lot of passes out of the backfield. So in a PPR format, that's great. Now, as for Booker, Drake, and Julio Jones, my current thought process is Julio is ready to go in and is a full go, he's probably my next option there, especially in a full PPR at this moment. So it's just a matter of how risk averse you are with Julio and his potential this week. I currently have him, I think, at 17, just ahead of Michael Thomas, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see, where do I have him? Number 16. There you go. The only reason I have him there is because, again, the New Orleans Saints secondary is not the greatest. I think Julio Jones can easily take advantage of it. Matt Ryan is a significantly better quarterback with Julio Jones in the lineup, and if he's healthy and ready to go, he could very easily catch the ball 10 times for 100 yards and get you 20 points in a full PPR, and that's why I'm going to probably go with him in comparison to Booker, who could potentially lose receiving work to potentially Jalen Richard, who's active today, and then Chase Edmonds stealing Kenyon Drake's work. And then, of course, Kyler Murray could come out of nowhere and steal Kenyon Drake touchdowns and make him irrelevant. So we go Montgomery and Julio there. Thank you very much, Kevin. Let's see here. Where were we? Okay. Billy Nelson, thank you very much, says, so I have 2 flex spots, and I don't know who to start. Booker, Cooper, Myers, Perriman, or Marvin Jones. Okay. I think this is pretty easy. In my opinion, I'm for sure playing Booker out of the group. Again, he's going to be the goal line back. Anytime you're the goal line back of the Raiders offense, you're going to find production. If you guys don't remember last season, for those of you who maybe didn't have to invest in it, DeAndre Washington was a very valuable fantasy prospect when Josh Jacobs went down with the shoulder injury. DeAndre Washington played from these kind of weeks, from weeks 13 on, and was honestly a pretty good running back for the Raiders, despite not being, a 3-down back in the past. So he came in, he filled in, and was able to get about 13 plus points every single week on I think a 2 to 3 week basis there until Josh Jacobs returned from his injury. So again, if you're associated with the Raiders backfield and you're the starting guy there, you're going to have great work. I think Booker is for sure a start there. And then the next best option, I think, is Cooper. Amari Cooper is probably the next best player there in comparison to Myers, Perriman, and Marvin Jones. I think he just has a safer floor because, again, he's the number one in that offense, and they're probably going to have to throw the entire time against the Baltimore Ravens defense. Thank you very much, Billy. All right, let's see here. Jeff came back with another question saying, for defenses today, Kansas City, Vikings, Chargers, or Bills? I'm going Kansas City versus the Denver Broncos. Thank you very much, Jeff. John sending the question, says, sup, Andrew? Love the show. Keep killing it, man. Thank you very much. Says, have PPR, need one running back and wide receiver and a flex. Booker, Melvin Gordon, Benny Snell, Jacoby Myers, Alan Lazard, CeeDee Lamb. Okay, cool. As your RB1, I'm going Devontae Booker. As your flex, I'm going Melvin Gordon. As for the wide receiver one position, I mean, I'm thinking that it's probably going to be CeeDee Lamb here. It's CeeDee Lamb or Jacoby Myers. I think that's what it comes down to. And they're literally, like, I think if I'm not mistaken, back-to-back in my rankings. So I'm probably thinking the safer play is probably just roll with CeeDee Lamb. But I think in a full PPR, or is it half PPR? Okay, so I think I'd rather just go CeeDee Lamb and hope for touchdown upside. I think Jacoby Myers, even though he had a couple touchdowns a couple weeks back, hasn't really been able to find the end zone, and it's really hard to score touchdowns against that Chargers secondary, as they have pretty good cornerbacks there. So as of right now, I'd probably go with CD at this moment. Thank you very much, John. Let's see here. Navid says, PPR, Julio Jones or Alvin Kamara. Oh, man. To be honest, if it's between those two, I think you find more safety in Julio Jones, to be honest. Yeah, that's probably where I go in this specific scenario. Alvin Kamara is not going to catch anything in a full PPR. Let's say, for example, he could easily get 60 rushing yards and have 2 rushing touchdowns. That is a very easy possibility. 18 points, he's done for the week. But in terms of catching the ball multiple times, I don't know if that's going to be in his wheelhouse this week. So if you're looking for a full PPR upside kind of guy that also has a safe floor, I think Julio is probably the play between those two. Thank you very much, Navid. Let me check this question. Okay, let me go ahead. I got to find a link really quick and send it to someone. If y'all don't mind, give me a moment. Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see here. All right. All right. Coming back. All right. Let's see here. Jaeger Adams says Debo or Jonathan Taylor in the flex. Okay, so as of right now, I am pretty high on Jonathan Taylor. I might be I might be high as a kite on Jonathan Taylor at this point. I think the Houston matchup is far too advantageous for me to kind of ignore it. Houston's giving up the most rushing yards to opposing running backs this season on average per week. And it just seems to me that if Jonathan Taylor's healthy and ready to go, the last time we saw him, he was getting 20 rushing attempts. This offense, of course, with Rivers a little bit injured with his toe injury, is going to want to run the ball. I think they'll easily be able to do so against the worst one-stopping defense in the National Football League. And Jonathan Taylor's got a lot of proof. With them getting Ryan Kelly, their center back, it just seems to me like this is going to be a run-first approach for that team, obviously using their deadliest running back threat, and that'll be Jonathan Taylor today. So between Debo and him, I'm going with Jonathan Taylor. Thank you very much. 10 p.m. Pedro says, standard flex, Gallman, Hines, Deontay Johnson, or Michael Pittman Jr. Okay, so if we're looking for a standard automatic play, honestly, it might just be Gallman. Even with McCoy, I still think that this team will be able to run the ball as their offensive line has been able to play. But my only concern is if, in fact, he doesn't score a touchdown, he's literally going to score you 40 points. That's the only problem. So in comparison to a Deontay Johnson who could easily catch the ball 9 times, that's not going to matter for you. You need him to either get massive amount of yardage or score a touchdown, which in itself is obviously a tough task. Between the group, I'm honestly probably going with Gallman still in a standard format. Thank you very much, Pedro. Nicole says, Snell or Gore, Allen or Hill. Okay, so that is okay. So that's the quarterbacks Hill. Okay. I'm gonna go with Benny Snell over Frank Gore. I think Benny Snell could easily, even though this past week, Wednesday, he didn't have the greatest performance. He could have easily scored a rushing touchdown. I think they'll probably end up doing that. James Conner, even though he is probably cleared to go, from what I've heard, is probably still not going to play because he hasn't practiced the entire week, and they're not going to force him to make a return as early as that. So I'd probably go Snell there. As for Josh Allen versus Taysom Hill, it honestly depends on what you kind of expect. At this point, if Taysom Hill doesn't score 2 rushing touchdowns, if he is, vultured by a Latavius Murray or an Alvin Kamara, the issue becomes, where does his floor sit in the passing game, right? If he ends up getting 200 passing yards but doesn't end up passing for a touchdown, then you're in trouble, especially if he's not scoring rushing touchdowns, because those 12 points that he's gotten each of the last 2 weeks via the rushing game has been his entire floor. And if that starts to diminish based on the circumstance of the game or the Atlanta Falcons defense being able to play him better, considering they have more film on him, then there's going to be a problem. So that's why I'm just rather kind of just lean with the safe option of Josh Allen, who also has the ability to run the ball and throw the ball for a ton of yards. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and do this real quick. Okay, moving on. Let's see. I wanted to actually check something here. Okay, that's that. Moving on. All right, True Gentleman for you says help. Okay, Wilson, Rodgers, Tanyan Ebron, Slayton, or Chark. Okay, so out of this group, Wilson or Rodgers. I'm playing Aaron Rodgers. He has been on a heater, and Wilson is been on the other end, going on a downward spiral recently. So I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers out of those two. Between Ebron and Robert Tonyan, I'm probably just going to stack Tonyan with Aaron Rodgers as of right now. I know Ebron in a full PPR is probably the better play if, in fact, Tonyan doesn't score, but he's just been one of those targets that's catching one of those 4 receiving touchdowns every week as of late. So Rodgers, Tonyan, and then between Slayton and Chark, I'm not even thinking about Slayton this week because that offense really hasn't looked in his direction. Colt McCoy did not target him at all in the time that he came into the game this last week. It was mainly Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard, and that's why it's probably why I'm going to go in that direction. So I go with Rodgers, Tonyan, and Chark. Thank you very much, True Gentlemen. Let's see here. Chris YouTube says, Keenan Allen, Stephon Diggs, Brandon Cooks, Devontae Booker, pick 3 in a full PPR. All right, so obviously Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen are your automatic 1 and 2 there. Between Brandon Cooks and Devontae Booker, I think Brandon Cooks could very easily muster up a 5-catch, 80-yard game, right? I think that's baseline minimum, especially as being the number 1 receiving option of the Texans at this moment. So that's like a 13-point floor as of right now. Devontae Booker, he himself can easily get 13 points. As for the upside in a full PPR, I'm probably going to lean with, I think Booker honestly kind of takes the cake here. because if Booker starts getting himself involved in the passing game, like we've seen, Josh Jacobs do, catch the ball 3 or 4 times in a singular game, he honestly could be the better of the two. So I'm going to go Booker as the last option there. So Keenan Allen, Diggs, Booker. Thank you very much, Chris. Ahmed says Ryan or Rivers. I'm going to go with Matt Ryan. With Julio back, he's a significantly better quarterback. It says Ryan always ruins my week. I'm afraid. Yeah, I mean, listen, he could easily do it again. He has played pretty badly against the Saints recently. Just 2 weeks back, what was it, week 10? That he didn't have himself a week there. So, or was it week 11? I think it was week 11. But regardless, I think that with Julio in the lineup, he should be a better play. Unless, Koo is coming out there stealing every single point with his kicks. I think Ryan should be the better play between the two. Because, to be honest, even though Rivers is going to be able to throw the ball pretty effectively this week, I don't think that that's going to be their main point of emphasis. They're going to want to run the ball against Houston, and I think that's what they'll focus on in comparison to Ryan, in which, of course, they're not going to be able to run the ball against New Orleans. Even with Gurley back, they're going to have to pass. So that's why I'm going Ryan. Let's hear. Arthur says, full PPR, Henry locked and mixing out. Gaskin, Montgomery, Carson at running back. Jefferson locked in. Okay, so let's see here. If I'm picking one of those running backs, and then we're going to figure out a flex. Okay, so if I'm picking one of those running backs out of that group, I'm going to go with Carson as your RB2, Arthur. So besides Henry as your RB1, you go Carson as your RB2. Now, as it pertains to your wide receiver 2, so you already have Jefferson as your 1, and then you're thinking about Chark or Boyd as your wide receiver 2. I go with Chark as the wide receiver 2. And then who do you go in the flex position? This is a full PPR, correct? I probably still go Montgomery there. So I'm probably going Henry, Carson, Jefferson, Chark, Montgomery. Thank you very much, Arthur. Edward Rodriguez says, salutations. Need one running back and wide receiver and a flex. Full PPR. Hunt, Jonathan Taylor, Gurley, Mike Thomas, Claypool, Amari Cooper. Okay, so if we're going with one running back, I'm going with Jonathan Taylor there. If we're going with a wide receiver, I'm going with Michael Thomas. And if we're going with a flex between Claypool and Hunt, I'm probably going with... I think I want to go with Claypool in this specific scenario. If Hunt doesn't fall into the end zone and Nick Chubb is just running freely, then that's going to be a problem. And I don't think Hunt's getting much work in a PPR format. So I'm going to go Claypool as your third option. So Jonathan Taylor, Michael Thomas, Claypool. Thank you very much, Edward. Dustin Smith says, should I drop Mike Davis? No, I probably wouldn't. I kind of want to pick up Tanyan as a backup. Currently have Goddard and Kittle. To be honest, you're going to probably start Goddard every single week from here on out. And I don't think you really have to roster 3 tight ends specifically. I think having Mike Davis on roster could really help you in the fantasy playoffs, especially next week if they're like, we're not using Christian McCaffrey. He's not going to play. Because there's a very good chance of that. And if that's a possibility, I mean, they do play against some pretty soft defenses in the coming weeks. I think week 14 against Denver and then week 16, I forget who they play, but it's a pretty good matchup. So to be honest, I wouldn't drop him at this point. Let's see here. Ian Judge says, I need 2 running backs and a flex. I got Kamara, Booker, Jonathan Taylor, Corey Davis, and Julio Jones. All right. So out of the group, even though it's tough, I'm probably going Kamara, Taylor, and Julio. Those are my 3. I've told people this earlier. I think it's against my religion to sit Alvin Kamara, regardless of what's going on in that team right now. So it just hurts me too much to, it hurts me way too much to sit him at this point. I'd rather him be in my lineup and only get me 8 points than be on my bench and go for 30. So yeah, as of right now, Kamara, Jonathan Taylor, Julio Jones. Thank you very much, Ian. Jake Lopez says, need 1 wide receiver and a flex. Okay. Boyd, Higgins, Lazard, Moss, Akers, Mims, Adrian Peterson. Okay, so as of right now, out of that group, it's kind of it's a pretty tough spot. If we're going in a full PPR and we're playing, okay, so out of those players, I'm obviously playing Boyd in my opinion. I think he's got a pretty good option against the Miami Dolphins, who aren't great against slot receivers specifically this season. Let's see here. Yeah, I see you guys. For those of you who said I skipped you in the chat, yes, I did. Thank you very much for pointing that out. For some reason, it updated, and you guys are underneath a lot of other people, so I'll move back up there as soon as I answer this next question. Sorry about that, guys. I'll answer it right now. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so just to finish off Jake Lopez's question, I go with Boyd as your wide receiver there. Even though it's not the prettiest thing at this moment in time, it might be, it might be the only play you got there. And then as for the flex, honestly, even though Adrian Peterson did score twice last week, I don't know how reliable that is this week. But at the same time, your other options aren't very reliable either. Lazard, Higgins, Moss, Akers, Mims. I mean, my goodness, if you're just looking for a safe floor of production, like 5 catches, 50 yards, and just get, that kind of opportunity, I think you can find that with either Mims, Lazard, or Higgins. Between the three of them, I'm probably leaning in the direction of going Lazard there. Thank you very much. Okay, let me scroll back up really quickly because, again, I did skip people. That is not a joke. Okay, here we go. Michael Buffton says Deontay Johnson or Myles Gaskin in a full PPR at the flex. As of right now, I mean, here's my issue, right? If Myles Gaskin is playing with Tua, he's probably not going to have that many receiving opportunities. He hasn't in the past. I think Ryan Fitzpatrick's really been the guy to unlock him in the passing game. So I'd probably go Deontay Johnson there, Michael. Thank you very much. I think Kenneth Williams sent in a question, but there isn't a message attached to it. I'm going to try to find it, though. Yeah, Kenneth, you sent in a donation, but I don't see a question. So if you could send in a question. Let's see here. Krishan Barkley says, I'm starting AJ Brown, Devontae Parker, and Juju. My flex, I want to start DJ Chark or Alan Lazard. Looks interesting. Well, thanks, man. Love the content. Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm going DJ Chark there. I think Mike Glennon played well enough to where DJ Chark could have a pretty high ceiling today. So that's where I'm going with. Thank you very much, Krishan. Let's see here. Bo Center says, pick 2, half PPR, Miles Sanders, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson. Is Allen Robinson healthy enough? Thoughts on Jordan Howard being elevated from the practice squad in Philly? And smash the like button. Yes, thank you very much. Everybody, if you are already in here, make sure you click the like button. It really does help me out a lot. As for picking 2 out of that group, I mean, as of right now, I probably am going with Allen Robinson. He is healthy. He should be good to go. From everything that I've heard, he should be good to go. So with Jeff Okudah out today, he's probably going to have Trufant on him. I think he'll be perfectly fine against that matchup. In comparison to Michael Thomas, I know Michael Thomas, the last time he played against Atlanta, had 9 catches for 100 yards. That's 15 points. I think Allen Robinson can honestly put up more than that this week. I think Miles Sanders is the biggest toss-up in this entire group. My idea is you drafted Miles Sanders to play him. If, in fact, he's just going to shit the bed, then, yeah, you can go ahead and bench him. But personally, I really like the matchup. I'm thinking there's no way that these guys could ignore the matchup enough to where they're only throwing the ball against Green Bay. They have to come out and run it. If they don't, then, RIP Miles Sanders this season, and there goes the season. So as of right now, if you're just looking for safety, you can certainly go with Michael Thomas, but I'm probably going with Sanders and A-Rob in this scenario. I'm not too worried about Jordan Howard again. I mean, just look at what he did in Miami. He had, I think, 16 rushing attempts for 12 yards in the first 4 weeks. What was he doing? Nothing. Let's see here. Okay, so Phil sent in a question. Phil, I don't know why you're sending in questions. You could just message me on Patreon. Where are we at, Phil? Yeah, Phil, I don't see your question. It didn't get attached. So if anything, just shoot me a message on Patreon. I'll answer it in a little bit. Okay, where were we at? Okay. Let's see who. Okay, Joel Miller says 2 running backs, PPR, Eckler, Hunt, Gaskin, Gallman, Harris. Okay, Eckler's an automatic start. The next best option, probably in a full PPR, is Myles Gaskin. Actually, do I want to go Myles Gaskin over Harris? Let me go see my full PPR. Because I honestly think that, you know what? Let's just go Kareem Hunt there. Because I think Kareem Hunt could probably easily get himself. Okay, let's go Austin Eckler and Kareem Hunt there, Joel Miller. It's tough because even though I think Gaskin could, catch the ball 5 times, I honestly don't think he's going to do that today. Gallman without Daniel Jones kind of becomes a sketchier play. I think Harris is the next best of that group, but to be honest, in a full PPR, doesn't have as much value. So I'm going Eckler and Hunt. Thank you very much. C. Malis says, half PPR, pick 2, Devontae Booker, Cooper Kupp, Jefferson, and Giovanni Bernard. I'm playing Jefferson, and I'm probably playing Cooper Kupp right after him in a half PPR. Yeah, I'm going to go Jefferson and Kupp there. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Okay, so then we caught up to True Gentlemen. Okay, so I think we're all caught up, I think. Let me go ahead. Let me go over to Patreon really quickly. Let me check a couple things. What is this? Okay, let me check Patreon. We don't have any messages. So Phil, if you can, either send me a message on Discord or Patreon. Thank you very much. Okay, so now that we've caught up to that, where were we at? So we had done that. Okay. A. Daniel says half PPR, pick 3 running backs: Carson, Sanders, Chubb, J.K. Dobbins, Myles Gaskin. Okay, I'm playing Carson, Sanders, and Chubb. Those are my 3 for sure. Also, Devontae Parker with no fits, or Brandon Cooks as the number 1. Okay, so between the two, I mean, if you just go ahead and look up at the screen, I'm probably going Parker over Brandon Cooks, even though I do like the potential of Brandon Cooks with Deshaun Watson. I don't even know how that offense is going to look. I think they need Fuller because he really stretches out the field and gives the ability to, of course, Brandon Cooks to play against number 2 coverage and not get double covered. Now that Brandon Cooks is literally the only receiving threat on the field, I anticipate they're probably going to double cover him. So I'm probably going in the direction of Parker there. Thank you very much, A. Daniel. Tater Tot says Perriman, Gabriel Davis, or Hardman, flex non-PPR. If we're looking for just pure touchdown upside, I'm going with Gabriel Davis. Thank you very much. Shadi Ibrahim says flex Gaskin, Slayton, or Beasley. I'm going to go Gaskin there automatically. Should I bench Miles Sanders because of what's happening in Philly? Thank you very much. Okay, so as of right now, I mean, this is the final straw. This is it. If this is the one that broke the camel's back in my eyes, I have to go with Miles Sanders in some of these scenarios. I have a really hard time benching him. He hasn't done anything for me this season, right? So I think maybe my confidence is empty in the idea that maybe I'm just, I don't know, maybe I'm just hoping that he'll figure it out, and he won't. But at this current moment, I'm just thinking, yeah, I have to play him. He plays against Green Bay. Montgomery had 100 rushing yards on 11 carries. Like, Montgomery's not even a good running back. Like, in comparison to the other running backs in the league, I think Montgomery in the Chicago Bears offensive line is awful. Like, in terms of giving up yards before contact to running backs, they are literally the worst in the National Football League. They give like 1 yard before contact. So David Montgomery's like, I had to run through arm tackles and actual people for the last, 13 weeks. You gotta be kidding me if you're thinking that. I don't know. I'm going with Miles Sanders. It's tough. Let's see here. Angelo says, pick 2, half PPR flex, Ito Smith, Gus Edwards, Kiki Cutie, Travis Fulgham, or Darrell Henderson. Wow, you have a pretty disgusting group of players. I'm going to play Kiki Cutie in that specific scenario in one of the spots. As for the other spot, I'm not playing Darrell Henderson or Ito Smith. It's going to go down between Fulgham and Gus Edwards. And between the two, I don't trust either. So I'm going to go with Gus Edwards because maybe he falls into the end zone and steals a touchdown. So Kiki Cutie, Gus Edwards. Thank you very much, Angelo. Cokehead 891. Okay, thank you very much. Says start 2, Ayuk, Beasley, Tim Patrick, Lazard, Pittman, Gurley, full PPR. Between the group, I'm going to go with Pittman and Beasley. Thank you very much. So Ziggy says full PPR, Kenyon Drake, Sterling Shepard. I'm going to go with Kenyon Drake. Thank you very much. So Ziggy. Where are we at? Why did I just do that? Am I going to skip things? No? Okay. Jay Busy Smith says, thanks for the great information every week this year. Thank you very much. Watching for Thielen. Watching from Thailand. I thought, okay, look. You see, you can't be throwing THs at me because as soon as I see it, my brain immediately goes to Thielen. Watching from Thailand. Really? Holy moly. Half PPR flex, Dobbins, Debo, Marvin Jones, Lamb. Okay, so if you're playing one of those, I'm going to go with Dobbins. I'm not even kidding. It might be the sketchiest thing that you can do all week, but I really like Dobbins against the Dallas Cowboys. They cannot stop the run. Mark Ingram's out with COVID. If Lamar Jackson's also out, they're going to just be running the ball the entire time. Even with him potentially playing, I don't think it hurts him. If anything, it probably helps him. So, yeah. Let's see here. Millie Tings says, standard, Robert Woods or Jonathan Taylor, Cousins or Taysom Hill. Okay. In a standard, okay. I'm thinking that I want to play Kirk Cousins over Taysom Hill. That's what I want to do. Because Kirk Cousins throwing, 3 passing touchdowns, 3 out of the last 4 weeks, plays against Jacksonville. It's super advantageous. He's going to probably throw for 250 yards. I mean, that in itself, what do we got? That's 10 points through, passing yards alone, another 12 from passing touchdowns. You're upwards of 20 points there very easily. So I think the safer of the two is probably going with Kirk Cousins in this scenario. And in between Robert Woods and Jonathan Taylor in a standard, we're purely looking for touchdown upside there. And in that case, I'd have to go with Jonathan Taylor. Even though I do think that Robert Woods has a very good matchup and can play very well. In a standard league, I have to go against that logic because you're not going to be able to account for the 8 or 9 receptions he potentially gets. So I go Jonathan Taylor and Kirk Cousins. Thank you very much, Millie Tings. Davion Walters says, full PPR, pick 3, Eckler, Mostert, Gallman, Kamara. I'm going to go Eckler, Mostert, and Kamara. Thank you very much, Davion. Jay Busy Smith also says, it's me again. Thanks for a different league. Flex, Hines, Edmonds, Gore, Bernard, Boyd, Latavius Murray, David Johnson. Okay. Ooh, you got a very interesting... Okay, so if I'm only playing one in this league, who's it going to be? My eye is going towards that, but I don't know if I can trust it. I think I kind of want to play Nyheim Hines there. Yeah, I'm probably going to play Nyheim Hines there, Jay Busy. Thank you very much. Dylan Kim says, pick 2, Michael Thomas, Mostert, Jonathan Taylor. Ooh. If it's a half PPR, I'm probably going Mostert and Jonathan Taylor. Thank you very much. If it's a full PPR, I'll take Taylor and empty. All right, Mitchell William says, pick 3, full PPR, Cooks, A-Rob, Gibson, McLaurin. Okay, if it's a full PPR and that is the case, can Gibson? Yeah, I think Gibson can. So I'm going to go with Allen Robinson, Gibson, and McLaurin. Thank you very much, Mitchell. Phil came in and said, I need to start 2 running backs, Kamara, Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor, Booker, Gallman. And then start 1 in the flex. Okay, so out of the group, Montgomery, Jonathan Taylor, Booker, Gallman. Okay, so Gallman's probably the sit, so it just becomes between those 4 running backs, right? Okay, so as of right now, I'm playing Kamara. It's hard for me not to. Then I'm playing Montgomery second, and then I'm probably playing Jonathan Taylor third. If you're afraid of Kamara, you can easily play Devontae Booker there, and just try to patch up the hole until next week, until we see if Breeze comes back. But as of right now, I'm playing Kamara, Montgomery, and Jonathan Taylor. Phil, appreciate it. Rough Time says, rank week 15 and 16. No, I can't do that. I appreciate your donation, but if you want an honest answer, I'm not going to be able to give you one. I haven't done any research for week 15 or 16. If I'm picking one player from week 15 and 16 between Higgins, Patrick, Antonio Brown, Lamb, and Myers, I'm going to say Antonio Brown and be done with it because I know what his matchups are, and they're probably the best of the group. Appreciate it, Rough Times. But yeah, I mean, at this point, that's probably the tough. I mean, it's like asking like Andrew week 1 of next year. That's how it's literally that far out of mind for me, those weeks. Because we're not even in week 14 yet, much less. Let's see here. John says, pick 2, Claypool, Riggins. No, John Riggins. Claypool, Higgins, Kupp, Amari. I'm going to play Claypool and Cooper Kupp. Thank you very much, John. DJ Swerve says, will you be doing basketball? Will you be doing this? Will you be doing this for basketball season 2? No, absolutely not. No, I think fantasy basketball is, it takes too much effort. In football, you can literally wait until Sunday, right? You get one game on Thursday, and then you can just kind of patiently wait. When you're looking at basketball and you have to change your lineup 6 times in a single week because of how many injuries and The week starts on a different, game. I don't know. It's just I've played it before. I'm not the biggest fan of fantasy basketball. I'll say that at the very least. Okay. Andrew Pacina says fill in a running back slot and a flex spot. I have Jonathan Taylor, Giovanni Bernard, and TJ Hawkinson. Okay, I'm playing Taylor and Hawkinson. It's not even hard there. I'm not playing Bernard. Full PPR playoffs. Do I start Josh Allen or Tannehill next week? Between Josh Allen and Tannehill next week, I know Josh Allen plays against Pittsburgh. I'm not playing him against Pittsburgh. If you have Tannehill, I'd go with Tannehill in this specific scenario next week. Justin Bronner says pick Mike Gesicki or Jordan Reed. Okay, between those two, because Tua is playing, I'm playing Jordan Reed. Pick Nelson Aguilar or Devin Singletary or Denzel Mims. I'm probably going Denzel Mims there. Thank you very much, Justin. Yes, Mr. Vic says, hey man, love the show. Start 2, Aaron Jones, Devontae Booker, Kareem Hunt. Okay, between those group of players, and then you're saying start, okay, and then there's wide receivers, and then we have to determine the flex. Okay, no problem. So as of right now, between those players, I'm playing Aaron Jones and Kareem Hunt as your running backs. Yes, Mr. Vic, those are my 2 at the running back position. As for the wide receivers, I'm playing Keenan Allen and Cooper Kupp. And then of the 2 that are remaining, Deebo Samuel and Devontae Booker, who am I playing in the flex? I'm probably playing Devontae Booker. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Kenneth Florence says, pick one for the flex, full PPR, Hines, Bernard, or Hurts. Yeah, we're going to go with Hines in this specific scenario. Thank you very much, Kenneth. John Leo says, full PPR, Deebo Samuel, Sammy Watkins, Latavius Murray. I'm going Deebo Samuel. Thank you very much. Where are we at? What did I just do? I just scrolled and I messed it all up. Okay, Big Dog says, I'm starting Allen, Diggs, wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2. Okay, so Keenan Allen and Stephon Diggs is your wide receiver 1 and 2. Okay, very good, Big Dog. And then Drake is your RB2 and CEH at the flex. Should any of the above players listed below in standard? Okay. So basically, should you start any of those players over what is above? To be honest, I'm not even kidding. I like Diggs and Allen as your number 1 and 2 wide receiver. I have no problem with that at all. But as for the other options that you have Dobbins and you have Devontae Booker. And I'm honestly going to play both of them over Drake and CH this week. That's my only suggestion there, Big Dog. Thank you very much. Richard Tolbert says, half PPR league. In the flex, Julio, hamstring issues, of course, makes you nervous. Giovanni or Gore. I'm playing Julio, 100%. I'd rather play Julio and roll the dice there than play with Gore or Giovanni Bernard, who in a half PPR, if they get lucky, score 8 and 9 points. 2020 is crazy, but yeah, of course, yeah. But I'm playing Julio there. Richard, thank you very much. Jerry Alvarado says, I'm kind of stuck playing Nelson Aguilar, T. Higgins, Marquise Brown, or Jerry Jeudy as my wide receiver 2. Easy, play Jerry Jeudy. In my flex, I have Bernard. Nope. Who should I play? Thanks for this. Okay, so yeah, you should play Jerry Jeudy over Bernard. Look, if Bernard was getting 20 touches a game, I'd be like, yeah, you want to play him against Miami because Miami can't stop the run, but that's not what we're going to see today. I honestly don't think he's going to touch the ball more than maybe 11 times, which makes his value that much less. And in comparison, Nelson Aguilar is dealing with an ankle injury. T. Higgins is going to be covered by Xavier Howard or Byron Jones. Marquise Brown has had one good week. I'm not going to buy in on that. I think Jerry Jeudy with the quarterback, at least returning for Denver, kind of gives them more opportunity there. Osvaldo Hernandez says flex PPR, Gaskin, Deontay Johnson, Jonathan Taylor, or Claypool. Ooh, we got ourselves a pretty good one here. I think the safest play of the bunch is probably just going with Deontay Johnson, hoping he doesn't drop a touchdown this week. Outside of that, it's probably Jonathan Taylor. So in a full PPR, if I'm gun to my head and I got to pick one and start him this week, I'm probably... I kind of want to be on the Jonathan Taylor train, to be honest. Because if Deontay Johnson doesn't score, he can certainly catch the ball 8 times for 60 yards. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, if Taylor doesn't go for 20 points, it's stupid for you to not go with Deontay Johnson. So I'm just going to go Deontay Johnson. Let's go with the safe player there. If you want the upside, I think the upside is on the side of Jonathan Taylor, but it's a sketchy upside, to say the very least, because Deontay Johnson could easily, just based off targets, catch the ball 9 times for 60 yards and be a monster play this week. So just go Deontay for now. Travis Harrison says, PPR pick 1, Parker, CH, Hines, Dobbins. I'm going Dobbins there. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Mark says flex. In a half PPR, Marquise Brown, Ezekiel Elliott, or DJ Chark. Excuse me, sorry. I'm going DJ Chark there. Thank you very much. Nick ATL75. All right, so let me see if I can find this because there wasn't a message attached to it. Hopefully I can find your message. Says, okay, J.K. Dobbins, Devontae Booker, or Gibson. You got a tough one on your hands. Gibson has been the truth as of late. I mean, he literally only scores touchdowns, and he's a monster for doing so. But if you're going to have to rely upon him to, I mean, it depends what your scoring format is. To be honest, if you play in a full PPR, I feel safer with Gibson than usual. Because again, if he's going to catch the ball 5 times like he did last week, I mean, he's going to give himself a pretty good baseline of value. He can score an easy late touchdown with Bud Dupree out. Again, their run-stopping defense is getting weaker with all these injuries hitting Pittsburgh. As of right now, I kind of want to go with the hot-handed Gibson. That's probably just what I would do. If it's my lineup, I'm just going to play the guy that I know has been the stud of my roster as of late. So I'm probably going to go Gibson there. Let's see here. Where are we at? Osvaldo Hernandez says, Gallman, Hunt, Terry, Deontay. Non-PPR. I'm going to go with Kareem Hunt there. Thank you very much. Kenny Lack says, full PPR, pick one in the flex. Corey Davis, Amari Cooper, Brandon Cooks, Hines. So as of those players in a full PPR, I'm probably going to go with Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I'm going to go Brandon Cooks there. Thank you very much. Marcel Griffin. Let me see here. I got to find your question because it didn't get attached to your donation. Okay, Marcel Griffin says, Taysom Hill or Watson? And then you have Kirk Cousins or Watson. Okay, so, you know, it's tough, man. It really is. At this moment, I think Watson could easily probably, even if in fact they do get blown out, that almost kind of leans in his direction, in his favor, to be honest, because he'll have to throw the ball for the entire game to an extent. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Watson has played really well as of late. Even against like New England, he played well. So the question is he going to be a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins or Taysom Hill? Can he score 3 touchdowns? I think he seriously could, even with Fuller being out and them not having, you know, a number 1 wide receiver technically there, because he's proven in the last couple of weeks that he could just score at will regardless of who's at wide receiver. So if you're worried about it, I don't think there's that much of a difference. If you feel safer with Kirk Cousins or Taysom, then play one of them. But for now, I think Watson's the guy that I'm rolling with at 8. And that's why I have in my head. And that's why, as of right now, I'm kind of just sticking there. You had another question saying Hill or Allen, or Kirk Cousins or Watson, Superflex. Okay, so if you're starting 2 quarterbacks in a Superflex, and you have Taysom Hill. Okay, so wait, what is that? Okay, so you have Taysom Hill and Josh Allen. I'm going to play Josh Allen there. And if you have Kirk Cousins and Deshaun Watson in a Superflex, if it's a 6-point per passing touchdown format, I go Kirk Cousins. If it's 4-point, I'm just going to go with Watson there. John Light says, flex, half PPR, McLaurin or Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor. Thank you very much. So Ziggy says, full PPR, Gaskin, Deontay Johnson, Chark. Deontay Johnson. Thank you very much. So Ziggy. Damon Smith says, unfortunately, I have to choose between Carson Wentz, Tua, and Baker Mayfield. Carson Wentz, garbage time, baby. Let's go. Mohammed Slim says, must win, full PPR, 6-point per passing touchdown, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. Okay, between the two, I'm playing Justin Herbert. I kind of have to at this point. He's just been too good. Even against Belichick, I think he'll be fine. Pick 1, running back, 1 flex, Giovanni Bernard, James White, Chase Edmonds, Cole Beasley, Le'Veon Bell, if CH is sick. If CH is out, fine, but I don't know if he's going to be out. So at this current moment in time, I'm going to go with Cole Beasley and James White as your running back and your flex. Thank you very much. Rylan Sand says, full PPR, Gallman or Jonathan Taylor. Give me Taylor. Andrew Horton says, Lord Kiorkof, please bless me with your advice and save my season with this must-win. I need 2 between Latavius Murray, Bell, Taylor, and Dobbins. Give me Taylor, give me Dobbins. Thank you very much, Andrew. Ricardo says, full PPR, start 2. What time is it? 8:45. We're looking good. Ricardo says, full PPR, start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers in a flex. Kamara, Eckler, Booker, Michael Thomas, Allen Robinson, Lockett, Claypool. My goodness. Eckler's an automatic play. It's not even close. As for your wide receivers, I think Michael Thomas and Allen Robinson is the number 1 and 2 there. As for the flex, I'm probably going with Lockett and I'm playing Kamara as the RB2. So Kamara, Eckler, Michael Thomas. Oh man, am I starting two Saints? Yeah, I am. Allen Robinson, Tyler Lockett. Thank you very much, Ricardo. Udai Shera says flex Michael Thomas or Miles Sanders in a standard league. Ooh, that's a good question. If Michael Thomas doesn't score a touchdown, he's not going to be better than Miles Sanders. I'm assuming, of course. Based on recent opportunity, I think you kind of have to just roll with Miles Sanders in that specific case in a standard league. And that's probably what I'd go with. All right, really quickly, let me remind all of you, there are 900 of you in here, and there's only 220 likes that have been clicked. If you guys could, click the like button. It does help me out a lot. I really do appreciate you guys coming by. Everything around me and behind me is updated rankings. So again, hopefully behind me can answer your questions. If not, while I'm answering these donations, maybe that can go ahead and potentially help you out. What is this? Oh my goodness. Okay, so pick 2. We have Amari Cooper, T.Y. Hilton, Allen Robinson, Deebo Samuel. Okay, so out of that group, we'll go A-Rob and Deebo. I have to take Julio off IR. Who would you drop? Okay. Okay, nice. Done. Let me go ahead, come back here. Whoa, why did that do that? Okay, here we go. Eddie Martinez says full PPR, Julio, Justin, Jefferson, McLaurin, AJ Brown, pick 3. I'm just going to go with the safety. I know Julio still dealing with an injury of sorts with a hamstring. I think if he fully plays, he's fine. But just to be safe, I'm just going to play AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, and McLaurin and just avoid the potential of him, screwing up your week. So, Eddie, I'm going to go with, Justin Jefferson, McLaurin, AJ Brown. Thank you very much. Jay Busy Smith says, last question, maybe half PPR. Gibson, Zeke, David Johnson, Marvin Jones, Gallup. Okay, if you're picking in that scenario, I'm playing Gibson. And then for the flex, Julio, Landry, Gallman, Deontay Johnson, sorry. Pittman, Dobbins, was it Damian Harris? Holy moly. Okay, so if I'm playing is this full PPR as well? That's a half PPR one. And they're both half PPR. So I'm playing Gibson in the first one. In the second question, Jay Busy, between Julio, Deontay Johnson, I think I want to play Dobbins in this specific scenario. Otherwise, I go Julio. But for right now, and if it's a full PPR, we'll go with the receiver of Julio. If it's a half PPR, then we'll just kind of slide with Dobbins. So depending on what format you're in, scoring wise, that would be the answer. I'm assuming it's half, so I'm probably going with the running back there. Chris Chang says, pick 3, 1 point per pass per reception. Dobbins, Booker, Hunt, Harris, Jamal Williams. Okay, I'm playing Dobbins, Booker, Hunt. Those are the 3. Thank you very much, Chris. Kelsey22 says Ingram, Ferksker. Yeah, Anthony Ferksker. What a name. Reed, pick 1. Okay, if I'm playing one out of that group, I'm probably rolling with Jordan Reed because Colt McCoy is playing quarterback for the Giants. Kamara or JT? You got a tough one on your hands. You got a tough one. Listen, I think it's against my religion to not play Alvin Kamara. He's gotten me this far, right? I mean, look, if you're worried enough to where you're willing to play Jonathan Taylor, then play Taylor. But as of right now, if it's me, if it's my team, I have a hard time not playing Alvin Kamara. Appreciate it, Kelsey. Okins says, start 1 in a standard. DeAndre Hopkins, McLaurin, Gallman. I'm going to play D-Hop. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Moad Sharif says, tough situation. Need a wide receiver in a flex and a full PPR. Cooper, Deebo, Kamara, Sanders. All right, so if you're picking a wide receiver of the group between the group, if that's Amari Cooper or Deebo Samuel, I prefer to go Deebo Samuel at this current moment in time. As for the flex, I'm going to probably go with Miles Sanders, to be honest. Even in a full PPR. I go Miles Sanders and Deebo there. Thank you very much. Marcel Griffin says, yeah, so we already did that one for Marcel. We said Allen over Hill, and if you're worried about Watson, you can just play Kirk Cousins and be fine there. Let's see here. Willem Flowers says, pick 2, Kareem Hunt, Jonathan Taylor, Scary Terry, half PPR. I'm playing both the running backs. I'm playing Hunt and I'm playing Taylor there. And then also, because that's a half PPR. Thanks, man. Appreciate the videos. Enjoying it all. Okay. You did great on Fantasy Pros. Yeah, I appreciate you guys going out there and supporting the channel, spreading my name out. I mean, look, with your guys' support, I'm able to do, different stuff like that. Other people have come knocking recently. So, again, with you guys supporting the channel, coming out every day, liking the videos, subscribing, helping this thing grow. It's really giving me more and more opportunities. So I can't thank you guys enough. While we're at this current juncture, there's 364 likes and there's 882 of you in here. If you guys could, click the like button. I'm not kidding. Please click the button. So really quickly, there's some people in the chat that are asking questions. Like, let's say, for example, somebody said Ferksker or Hooper. Hooper is in my rankings. Ferksker is not for a reason. Someone said Hunt or Booker. It's on the screen. Full PPR, Hollywood Brown, question mark. He's not on the list for a reason because I don't trust him. So again, everything that is potentially just not flex related is on the screen. And maybe you can figure it out via flex. There's a formula to it. Let's hear it. Mark Mowry says, need one for a full PPR league, Devontae Booker, Antonio Gibson, Wayne Gallman. I'm going to go with Gibson. Thank you very much. Jake Eagle says, my running back in flex is set with Henry, Eckler, Carson. Okay. I mean, you're looking good to go. At my wide receiver 1, I've got Julio. Who do I play as my wide receiver 2? Chark, Ayuk, or Myers? I'm going to go with Chark there. Thank you very much, Jake Eagle. Half PPR. Yeah, no problem. I'm for sure playing Chark. Nick Stano says, you believe AP is the best choice between Gurley and Moss this week? Yes, I do. I for sure do. I mean, again, Chicago's defense, they've been a mess. Adrian Peterson played well against them in week 1. He played well last week against Houston. And to be honest, kind of going in the right direction. I like what I'm seeing with him as of late, being the starter. I mean, I don't think that Gurley's going to do much unless he falls into the end zone multiple times. And Moss is a toss-up at this point, with Devin Singletary taking more touches every other week. Hello, Master. Okay, this is Taha Ahmed says, hello, Master Kiorkof. Okay, whatever. If you're going to at least call me Master Kiorkof, spell my name right. Like, I mean, what are we doing, guys? Like, what is that? Deontay Johnson or Dobbins in a full PPR? Give me Deontay Johnson there. Andrew Horton says, do you worry about Dobbins back from COVID? No. The fact that he was activated way earlier in the week leads me to believe that he'll probably go back to being the starter. With Mark Ingram gone, there's no way that Gus Edwards is getting more touches than Dobbins this week. Even in the weeks that they were together just recently, Dobbins was the more productive back, and they were trying to give him the starting job. I think they'll go back to that. Dallas is going to be such a cakewalk in terms of running the ball. Everyone is dominated against them on the ground. I just feel like, as of right now, it just seems like it's an automatic at this point. Let me check something here. Okay. Silvio Hawley says, need 2 wide receivers in a flex and a tight end. Debo, Ridley, Diggs, Gallman. Okay, so out of that group, if you need a 2 wide receiver group and a flex, I'm going to go with Ridley, Diggs, and Debo there. I'm unfortunately going to bench Gallman in that scenario, Silvio, but appreciate it. And then as for a tight end, you're saying Mike Gesicki or Schultz, Hooper, Ferksker. I'd go pick up Hooper and play him. I play Hooper against the Tennessee Titans. Thank you very much. Dilo says, full PPR. Pick 1, Gio, Slayton, Rieger, Cutie. I'm going to play Kiki Cutie in this scenario. Thank you very much. Where's Billy Nelson? I saw his question come in. Billy Nelson, Rivers or Herbert? I'm playing Herbert. It's on the screen, guys. I mean, these are updated rankings. There's no Fitzpatrick in there. So, yeah, anyway. Ken Dorsey says, for quarterback, Wentz or Taysom. For running back, Miles Sanders, Gaskin, Dobbins, Antonio Gibson, pick 2. Dalvin Cook is my must start. And then, okay, so let's see here. If we're playing Taysom or Wentz, we're playing Taysom Hill. If we're playing a running back besides besides Dalvin Cook, we're playing Miles Sanders. And then for the tight end position, Ertz or Tanyan, I'm playing Tanyan. Thank you very much, Ken. Joe Small says standard need 1. Cooks, Hopkins, Gordon, Pittman, or Chark. Okay, so, I mean, I'm playing Hopkins. I don't know about you, but I'm playing Hopkins regardless. He's the stud player of the group, and that's what I'm rolling with. Thank you very much, Joe Small. Hopkins is the play. Osvaldo Hernandez says flex full PPR. Mostert, Claypool, Gallman, Booker, Dobbins. Holy moly. If it's a full PPR between that group of players, I think I'm going to go with Mostert. Yeah, Mostert's my play there. Thank you very much, Osvaldo. Wet Bandit says, tough one this week, full PPR, Lockett, AJ Brown. It's not tough, it's AJ Brown. Pick 2 running backs, Carson, Chubb, Sanders. I'm playing Carson and Chubb. Which is a harder sit, Sanders or Lockett? Okay, so if I have to sit one of the two, I'm probably going to... Which one's the tougher sit? I think it's harder to... I mean, for me, it's... Ooh, I'm sitting Lockett. I don't even think it's that tough. I think Lockett's inconsistency scares me enough to where I'm like, I don't even need to invest in this right now. So I'd probably just go with Sanders at the flex. Sovicia Sok, thank you very much, says full PPR, Allen Robinson, Juju Smith-Schuster, Robert Woods, David Montgomery, Devontae Booker, 2 wide receivers and a flex. Okay, if we're picking 2 wide receivers, it's Robert Woods and Allen Robinson. If we're picking a flex, it's David Montgomery. Thank you very much, Sovicia. Marcel Griffin says, should I start Carson or Raheem Mostert? I go with Chris Carson this week. Both of them are really good options. Though Millie Ting says, pick 2 full PPR, James Robinson, Calvin Ridley, Chris Carson. Woo, we got a pretty... Damn. My goodness. I'm playing both the running backs. I'm playing James Robinson and Chris Carson there. Thank you very much, Millie Things. Okay, let's see. Why can my F3 function work? Okay, Adolfo Ramirez says, do I start Frank Gore or David Johnson as my RB2 full PPR? Got Henry as my RB1, Ronald Jones on a bye week. I'm going Frank Gore there. Thank you very much. Let's see here. JK says Goddard or Ebon. I'm playing Goddard full PPR. Murad Cannon says full PPR, pick 2 running backs, Kamara, Taylor, Gallman, Gaskin. All right, between that group, if we're picking 2 running backs, it's Kamara and Taylor. If we're picking a tight end between Goddard and Rudolph, I'm playing Goddard. Between Kirk Cousins and Tannehill, I'm playing Tannehill. So Tannehill, Goddard, Kamara, Taylor. Thank you very much. Patrick Gine says, or Gillen, sorry. Full PPR, pick 3 running back, specifically Sanders, Booker, Dobbins, Gallman, Taylor. Taylor, Sanders, Dobbins. Thank you very much. Pick 1 wide receiver, Parker or Mario Juju. I'm going to go with Devontae Parker there. Adrian Rodriguez says, rest of season, Schultz, Gesicki, Rudolph, Jonnu. I go with Rudolph right now. Michael Alvarado says, standard league, Gaskin or Ridley. If it's a standard league, oh man. I go Ridley, I think. Yeah, I'd probably go Ridley. Because if Gaskin doesn't score, we have a problem. I think Ridley has a higher chance of scoring between the two. Sam Bond says full PPR, Dobbins or Hunt. Ooh, I think I'm going to go and just stick with Hunt in this specific scenario. Salvador R says, bro, your call to start Gibson. Save me. I mean, it's not hard to say start Gibson. I think it's actually the easiest thing to possibly do this season. That might be the only automatic as of late. But yeah, I appreciate it. Got Carson and Booker, Gibson and Gallman on the bench. Am I good despite Carson's foot and Hyde's usage? I mean, to be honest, I don't think I'm too worried about Carson and Hyde. Hyde almost was not going to play this week anyway because he didn't practice the whole week. I think Carson's usage last week was pretty much based on the fact that they were just kind of getting him eased into the lineup. As for playing Booker over Gibson, that's totally up to you. I mean, at this point, I'm probably riding with Gibson. But if you like the idea of just running with Carson and Booker, I have no problem with it at all. Appreciate it, Salvador. But as of right now, yeah, I'm not worried about Carson's foot and Hyde's usage. I think Hyde's usage will go down and Carson will continue to play more. Jake Perez is full PPR, Antonio Gibson or Myles Gaskin. To be honest, I'm still going with Gibson there. I think he has a lot of opportunity in the passing game as we saw last week. Brian Campbell says D-Hop versus the Rams. Or what was the other option? Or Jonathan Taylor versus the Texans, or Dobbins versus Dallas. My goodness. I don't know what scoring format is, Brian. But as of right now, if I'm playing one out of the group, I have a hard time not playing DeAndre Hopkins. But if you, do I actually want to, okay, let's say, for example, it's a half PPR, Andrew. Let's talk this out. If it's a half PPR, would you rather play Jonathan Taylor or DeAndre Hopkins? If DeAndre Hopkins catches the ball 5 times, 50 yards and a touchdown in a half PPR, makes up a pretty decent week, I think Jonathan Taylor beats that week. So I'm going to go Taylor as of right now. In terms of upside, I mean, if somehow DeAndre Hopkins has 100 receiving yards versus the Rams, I'd be very surprised. But yeah, for now, I'm probably going to go with Taylor. Deontay or Julio? Full PPR. Must win. If you want the safety, I think the safety is with Deontay Johnson, because Julio at any moment could leave the game with an injury. That's a very easy possibility, right? So if you want the safety of it, you go with Deontay Johnson. If you want the upside, I'd go with Julio. Mason Rice says start 3. Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, Scary Terry, Julio Jones. Still worried about the injury. Okay, so I'm playing Justin Jefferson. I'm playing McLaurin. And I'm probably playing Julio. Actually, because, again, you have the same issue, right? You have a close enough other receiving option to where I'm not afraid of starting them. I mean, I could easily just play Justin Jefferson, Deontay Johnson, and Terry McLaurin and just be fine with it. So, yeah, that's probably the best plan of action at this point. Not have to worry about the injury of Julio. Okay, let's see here. Michael Williams says, PPR, Shepard or Gallman? I'm playing Shepard in a full PPR. Albert Sue says, half PPR, pick 2. Gallman, Parker, Zeke. I'm going to play Gallman and Parker. Thank you very much, Albert. Jay Busy Smith says, I'm here. Here I return again. Hit the like button, everyone. Yes, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. If you guys could, click the like button. Let's get that number to at least 700 if we can. I really do appreciate it. Half PPR flex, Cooks, Damian Harris, Drake, Landry, Deontay Johnson, Gallman, Pittman. Thank you very much. Okay. If we're playing one flex out of that group, it's probably, I mean, if it's a half PPR and we have Drake, we have Harris, we have Deontay Johnson, we have Landry, Pittman, Cooks. I'm thinking the best play of the bunch is probably Deontay Johnson or Damian Harris in a half PPR. If I have to pick one, I'm probably just going to go with, I'd probably just go with the receiver of Deontay Johnson. I think he has a higher upside this week. All right, let me just go ahead and check a couple things, guys, while we're at it. I've got to check Patreon, make sure. Okay, there's a couple questions here I got to just catch really quickly. Okay. Then there's one more question I got to think. Okay. I'll come back really quickly. Where are we at? Okay. All right. I'm trying to catch up. Epic Ponage says, Lamar or Rivers? Why Lamar over Rivers? If I have to explain why Lamar over Rivers, then we've already got an issue. I mean, Rivers literally has to have surgery in the offseason because his toe is so bad. He's probably going to have a hard time planting on that foot in the first place. So, I mean, if they replace Rivers in the coming weeks, don't be surprised. Why Lamar over Rivers? Because he has the Dallas matchup. And Houston, they're just going to have to throw. I mean, they don't even have to throw the ball against them. They could probably run the ball every single down the entire field and just clean their clocks over there. So, yeah, I'm playing Lamar, and it's not even close. Joshua says, Goff or Rivers? I'm playing Goff. Skylar Grant says, Goddard or Rudolph in a full PPR? I'm playing Goddard. Aaron Northcutt says, Ertz, Rudolph, Firkser. I'd play Rudolph there. Osvaldo Hernandez says, non-PPR, Terry, Gaskin, Gallman. I'm probably playing Terry McLaurin in that specific scenario. Stuart Morrison says, Lamar, Taysom, Tannehill. I'm playing Tannehill. Thank you very much. Derek Just says Sterling Shepard or James White full PPR. I'm going to play Sterling Shepard. Jeff Steele says non-PPR, Michael Pittman Jr. or Latavius Murray. I'm still playing Pittman Jr. Jesse Guevara says, Duke, Sanders, Kamara, James White, pick 2. I'm playing Sanders and Kamara. Thank you very much. Aaron Northcourt again says Marvin Jones, Alan Lazard, Kiki Cutie, full PPR. I'm probably going to play Marvin Jones in that scenario. Thank you very much. Pusshead says, thanks for the channel, man. Miles Sanders, Jonathan Taylor in a standard league. As of right now, I'm thinking that Sanders is the play. Jonathan Taylor is not too far behind, though, in a standard. Brian Campbell says, D-Hop, Taylor, Dobbins. Does full PPR change anything? Yeah. If it's full PPR, I'm playing D-Hop, and I'm not even worried about it in that case. Do Productions says, or DO Productions says, pick 2 running backs in a flex, full PPR, Kamara, Gaskin, Zeke, Gallman, JK. So as of right now, out of that group, I'm playing Kamara and J.K. Dobbins and Gaskin. Thank you very much. Eric Keller says, hey, man, love the show. Debo Samuel or Darnell Mooney? I'm playing Debo Samuel. Thank you very much. T-Langs 2K says, full PPR, Gaskin, Dobbins, Deontay Johnson, Debo Samuel. Ooh, I'm going to play Deontay Johnson there. Thank you very much. Sebastian Perez says, half PPR, Hilton, Gabriel Davis, Chenault, Darnell Mooney. Oh, my God. We got some good ones. These are some hitter questions. Sebastian, that might be the hardest question of the day because those are the most uncertain prospects that I possibly could imagine. Out of the group, I'm probably going with Gabriel Davis, to be honest. Yeah, I'll probably go Gabriel Davis there. And then Hilton, then Mooney, then Chenault. Thank you very much. Josh Rubin says, A-Rob, Michael Thomas, DeAndre Hopkins, start 2. Full PPR, worried about DeAndre Hopkins matchup, also worried about A-Rob's injury. So, as of right now, I mean, the 2 players that you're worried about, per se, is the 2 players that I'm not worried about. I'm honestly okay with DeAndre Hopkins, and I'm okay with Allen Robinson. I'm not okay with Michael Thomas because Taysom Hill. That's my only concern. So, for now, my suggestion are the 2 players that you're worried about. DeAndre Hopkins and Allen Robinson. Telugu says, Kyler Murray, Jared Goff, Cam Newton, nervous about starting Kyler versus the Rams. To be honest, it is a little nerve-wracking considering the way that he's played recently. I'm okay with him playing against the Rams. I don't have an issue with it. I think, again, I've seen him produce well in the past against them. I don't think his production last week really speaks to how well he technically could have played. There was a couple touchdowns that he could have had, a couple defensive pass interferences that put them on the 1-yard line and give Kenyon Drake free touchdowns. So I think last week at least Kyler should have had a minimum of 2 touchdowns, saving his week. Unfortunately, did not get that. So as of right now, I'm still going with Mr. Kyler. Okay. I think I've caught up on all that. I think. Okay. Let's see here. Battle Mitch says Kansas City defense or the Saints defense. I'd go with Kansas City defense today. Thank you very much. Okay, let's see here. There's another question I had to answer via Patreon. It says start Hunt, Dobbins, Gaskin, or Jonathan Taylor. Okay. Okay, there's a couple more things there. Okay, so let's go. Hunting pecking with one hand because I can't reach my other hand across the way. Okay, that's done. Finished. All right, let me see what I can do here. Josh Rubin sent you another question. It says full PPR, Booker or Dobbins? As good as Devontae Booker was as a potential pickup, for some reason I'm still leaning towards J.K. Dobbins. Yeah, that's probably still where I'm leaning. Appreciate it. Okay, let's see what we got in the chat here. David Johnson or Frank Gore. As you can see on screen, Gamer Drew, I'm going Frank Gore in that scenario. Even if it was, Duke Johnson, it doesn't even matter. I just don't trust the running backs of that team versus Indianapolis today. Need a defense says, okay, Colts, Raiders, Bears. I'd play the Raiders versus the Jets, AP. Let's see who else is in the chat. Brandon Warmack, nice to see you. Says Lazard ahead of Pittman. No, I'd play Pittman this week. If Lazard played more, if he played more than I don't know, I think he's playing 46, 47% of the snaps right now. If he played more than that, then maybe. But I guess that could increase over time. I think it's just going to be a game in which they get ahead early, and then they're just running the ball the entire second half, like they usually do. David Vanderwick says, full PPR, Pittman, Shepard, Goddard. Okay. Pittman or Shepard? I'm going to play Pittman. Goddard or Hurst? I'm going to play Goddard. Chapstick, 1972. Thank you very much. Nice to see you. Says, okay, we're playing Singletary, Snell, Kerryon Johnson, pick 2. I'm playing Singletary and I'm playing Snell. I'm not touching Kerryon Johnson. Unfortunately, I don't trust it. Dylan Simpson sent in a donation, but there wasn't a question attached to it. Let's see if I can find it in the chat. Maybe it's stuck in there somewhere. No, there's nothing from Dylan. Okay. Robert Wilson says, full PPR, Justin Jefferson, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Parker. I'm for sure playing Justin Jefferson in that scenario. Thank you very much, Robert Wilson. Dusty Sky says, half PPR, pick 1 running back and a flex. Booker, Gaskin, Cooks. I have Eckler, Thomas, and Deontay Johnson set. All right, you're good to go there. As for the running back and the flex option, I'm going to go with Gaskin and Booker. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm still waiting for Dylan to send in his question. All right, let's see here. Mostert or Booker, says Kevin Martin in the chat. I'm going to go Mostert there. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills can't stop the run, guys. Why Rudolph ahead of Fant? Because of the matchup. If you guys go look up how many touchdowns just recently, let me go look it up really quickly just so I can. Jacksonville versus tight ends, right? That's what we're looking at. All right, so Kyle Rudolph. Okay, so just in perspective, right? I'm just going to read off a couple stats as of late. So besides the fact that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the Jacksonville Jaguars have given up 9 touchdowns to opposing tight ends this season. They've given up a touchdown last week, the week before. Then they gave up 2 against the Chargers, 1 against Hawkinson, 1 against Fells, 1 against Gesicki, 2 against John. I mean, they can't cover tight ends. They can't. And the way that Rudolph is trending with Irv Smith out, I think Kyle Rudolph had 8, 9 targets last week. That's more than he deserves. But if he's going to get that many, it's just going to be a great number, to be honest. And to be honest, a lot of people who say hey, Adam Thielen's coming back, doesn't that make a difference? I honestly don't think so, because if you get rid of Olabisi Johnson and Chad Beebe's touches, then you go ahead and even everything out and still get a lot of production in that specific scenario. Okay, a couple more questions came in. Dio Production says, sorry about the last one, bro. Flex JK over Cooks, full PPR? Yeah, I would. Jack with a very generous donation, thank you very much, says, I beat my opponent by 40 to make the playoffs in a 12-team half PPR. Who is the highest ceiling of these 3 running backs? Kareem Hunt, J.K. Dobbins, Damian Harris. Thanks for the great content every week. Okay, so thank you very much for the generous donation. As of right now, the highest ceiling of that group, I think, is Dobbins, to be honest. I think it's Dobbins. I think, to be honest, Damian Harris might be on his ass just really closely, but because of the fact that Cam Newton and James White could steal touchdowns, that's always a concern. So I think J.K. Dobbins has the highest ceiling of those 3, Jack. Appreciate it. John H. says half PPR, Michael Thomas, Julio. You spelled Julio with a Q? I think, what is Julio's actual real name? It's like Quintoro something. Let me go find Julio's name. I'm actually curious. I think it's like Quintoro Lopez Jones or something like that. Let me find this. Yeah. Quintoris Lopez Jones. That is Julio Jones' real name. Quintoris. What a name, baby. What a name. Anyway, Michael Thomas, Julio, Gallman. Thank you. If I'm playing one out of the group, I'm playing Julio. Thank you very much. Cena Phoenix. Thank you very much. Says greetings and salutations. Hit the like button, guys. Yes, I agree. Andrew, can you answer my question on Discord, please? Yeah. I don't see your question, though. Where is your question? Did you send me a question, Cine Phoenix? You send it on Discord, or did you send it on Patreon? Because I don't have a question from you. Yeah, I don't have a question. If you can, just send it again, because I don't see anything. Just send me an actual DM. Jake Perez says, streaming tight end. I'm playing Trey Burton out of those three. I'm not playing Anthony Firkser or Logan Thomas over Burton this week. I'm playing Burton. Thank you very much, Jake Perez. Damon Smith says, Raiders defense or KC. I'm going to play KC this week versus Denver. Carter says, Kareem Hunt or Wayne Gallman. I'm going to play Kareem Hunt there. Thank you very much, Carter. Tater Tot says, I have Cook starting. Should I drop Firkser? I have Gronk and Jonnu benched, and plan on riding out with Gronk. I have Cook starting. Is that Jared Cook? If you have Jared Cook starting, good luck. That's all I gotta say. But yeah, you want to ride with Gronk during your fantasy playoffs, especially in those matchups. Matthew Schultz says Quintorris or Allen Robinson full PPR. Cup or Cooks. Okay, so between the two, I'm still gonna go with Allen Robinson, and I'll go with Cup over Cooks. Thank you very much, Matthew. Did I miss one? Mauricio Alvarez. Sorry about that. I almost skipped over that. Full PPR says for the flex, Diggs, Michael Thomas, or Booker. I'm gonna play Diggs there. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's see. What did I also miss? Did I miss anything else? I don't think I did. I think we're good. Okay, did City Phoenix? That's what you sent me. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, okay, you know why I didn't answer it? Because you had 3 questions. That's why. All right, I'm just gonna read them out loud and just answer them because honestly, it'll take me too long to type it out. And so the first question was, do you think this week Kamara starts revving up again? I think there's a very good chance that is the case. I think they pretty much took a vacation on him last week, and a much needed one considering he was dealing with a couple injuries. Hopefully he's healthy and ready to go this week, and I think that they do start revving up on him, and I think that hopefully they make it a point to throw him the ball. If they don't, then so be it, but as of right now, I'm hoping that that's the case. As for why do you have Melvin Gordon high? Because the Kansas City Chiefs really can't stop the run, even though teams can't take advantage of it because, again, Kansas City either blows you out or puts enough pressure on you to cause turnovers to the point where you just can't run the ball. Melvin Gordon, I think, still is able to get some production. I think because, of course, Lindsey's still dealing with a little bit of an injury, there's a chance that Melvin Gordon, because I do expect the Denver Broncos to score this week, could easily fall into the end zone and get himself like 13 points. Won't the Broncos struggle against KC? Yeah, I mean, they're gonna struggle, but I don't think it's a matter of like in the fourth quarter they're still gonna get shut out. I still think that Drew Lock is very capable of throwing 9 interceptions on any given week, but at this point, yeah, I'm not too worried about it. What was I looking at here? Okay, yeah, cool. Chris Chang sent in a question, said, need a quarterback this week and for the future. Taysom Hill, Tannehill, or another person? I'm going to play Tannehill rest of the season. Good to go. Every single week, including this week, 13, 14, 15, 16, Tannehill all the way. Chris YouTube 5fam says, I need to win and outscore this person in second by 23.1. Would it make more sense to start Cooks or Booker? Cooks should have the higher ceiling, right? Not technically, no. I mean, if you're in a full PPR, let me see. What was your earlier questions? Let me go find Chris's questions real quick. All right, really quickly. Dylan Simpson sent in a question earlier. I found it now. Latavius, James White, or Geo? Full PPR, my bad. Goofed on the first one. Okay, no problem. Between the group and a full PPR, I'm going to go James White. Thank you very much, Dylan Simpson. Okay, so I'm looking at Chris's question. So let me go find Chris. All right, so what was your earlier questions in terms of format? It was PPR. Okay, so maybe are we still going to go with full PPR? Yeah, I think that might be the case. Okay, so just put it. Okay, yeah, look, between Booker and Cooks in a full PPR, ceiling wise, yeah, if Cooks is catching the ball 5 times for 80 yards and then he puts a touchdown on top of it, I mean, of course, you got a 19-point week there. Booker to get 19 points needs 2 touchdowns, to be totally honest. So in terms of higher ceiling, yeah, that's there. But if you're looking for a base floor, I think Booker probably has the safer base floor because They're playing against the Jets. They should be up early, and they should run the ball in the second half. And that should get him at least 20 touches today, which in line is a safer floor than relying on 5 or 6 touches from Cooks, who might not end up in a touchdown. That's the only reason why I'm putting it out there. But if you're in a full PPR and you're looking for higher upside, yeah, Cooks is probably the play there. But if you're looking just for the safe play, get the points, I'd go Booker. Let's see here. Tony says, full PPR, Latavius Murray or Nelson Aguilar. I'm going to play Latavius Murray there. I don't trust Nelson Aguilar. I mean, if he does it this week and ends up putting up the 20-point game, so be it. It's not going to be my starting roster. Joseph says Kareem Hunt or Hollywood Brown. I'd play Kareem Hunt. Shay says Dalvin, Gibson at my running backs. No question there. Jefferson or Jonathan Taylor at the flex. Jefferson. Justin Jefferson. Steven says AKs. Okay, AK's demand. Thank you very much. All right, guys. There's 800 of you. There's 561 likes. If we can continue to click that like button, that would be greatly appreciated, guys. Again, let's see here. I'm going to go click the like button myself. Thank you very much. Should be good to go. All right. What I want to go ahead and do really quickly is come back here. We're good there. All right. So Steven was saying half PPR Hunter Booker. I'm going to play. I think I'm going to play Kareem Hunt there. Taysom Hill or Trubisky. I'm going to play Taysom Hill. So yeah, Hunt, Taysom. Those are my suggestions as of right now. I mean, theoretically, Tennessee can't stop the run. It should be a pretty easy one if Chubb and him are just running through that defense, which they easily should be able to do so. George, question mark, says, need two full PPR, Montgomery, Sanders, Booker. I'm playing Montgomery and Sanders. Thank you very much, George. Dennis says Rams, Bills, Vikings defense. If I'm playing one of those defenses, I'm playing the Vikings this week. Thank you very much. Nel Santiago says PPR, need two. Deontay Johnson, Debo, Dobbins. And for a tight end, Hurst or Hooper. Okay, so out of that group, with Julio coming back, I don't trust Hurst as much anymore. But even with that said, Hooper needs the touchdown. If he doesn't find it, he's going to be in trouble. But I'm going to lean with Hooper as of right now. As for needing two between Deontay Johnson, Debo Samuel, and Dobbins, as of right now, I'm going to go with Deontay Johnson and Dobbins. Thank you very much. Jake Thompson says Amari Cooper, James White, Crowder. I'm going to play Amari Cooper there. Thank you very much. C. Zettler sent in a donation, but I don't see a question attached to it. So let's see if I can eventually see that. Yeah, there's nothing attached to it yet. I don't know why that happens, guys. Maybe you guys are messing some stuff up, but sometimes it just doesn't attach the message to it. Ryan in the chat is saying Deontay or A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, not even close. Julio, let's see here. What do we... Your pick for the Pats versus Chargers isn't up there? Is it really not? Is it really not? Damn. Okay, well, that sucks. If I'm picking a team between the two to win today, I'm probably picking the Pats to win. Let's see here. Where the heck is C. Zettler's question? Yeah, I don't see one. Okay, there we go. It says offered Devontae Adams for Miles Sanders. Okay. Offered Devontae Adams for Sanders Taylor. I've got Kamara, Swift for season in non-playoff standard, non-PPR league. My wide receivers are okay, hold up. So you're offering to give away Devontae Adams? My wide receivers are Amari Cooper, Devontae Parker, and Debo Samuel. So oh man. I don't think I want to trade away Devontae Adams right now. I don't know why I just do that. Sorry guys. I think that entire episode from the wide receiver video, I said Adams, or I said Parker like 10 times in the beginning of the video instead of Adams. As of right now, am I trading Devontae Adams for Miles Sanders and Taylor? With the roster that you have, with having Kamara and Swift in a non-PPR league, I think you need Devontae Adams, to be honest. do you really have no other running backs? Look, this is the tough part about this kind of a question, right? There's not enough information. Like, I don't know what the rest of your team looks like. You're only naming like 5 players, right? At this point, considering you need 2 flexes, so you need 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 2 flex, right? At this point, if you think that in a non-PPR, Miles Sanders and Jonathan Taylor can turn it around, then yeah, let's do it. Because to be honest, I think you need more running back depth, especially with Swift out and Kamara playing like garbage. Ooh, it's a tough one, but maybe this is the risk that gets the reward in the end. I don't mind it. Is it smart? Probably not. Is it crazy to go for the play like this? Yeah, most likely, but I think I'm crazy enough at times to make deals like this and try to go for the risk it for the biscuit. Yeah. Even though I really don't like your wide receivers, getting an extra flex option could set you up for success. So yeah, I don't mind it. Thank you very much, C. Zettler. Josh Rubin says, who has a safer floor, Booker or Dobbins? I think Booker does, right? Because we know Booker's the starter. We don't know Dobbins is the starter, right? But the only, my only anticipation is if the Dallas Cowboys play like the Dallas Cowboys and they cannot stop the run, then it's going to be Dobbins just running all over them because, again, this team runs the ball pretty effectively. And, Dobbins and Gus Edwards in the rotation, from the last couple of weeks in which both of them have been active in the same roster, we know which one they prefer to give the ball to. It'll go in Dobbins' direction. But if you're looking for the safer floor, I think it is Booker. Sin Phoenix says, thanks for all you do, Andrew. First year in fantasy. Is there any strategy for playing against the same person 2 weeks in a row? No. The only strategy for that is to make sure that your commissioner next year does not implement that playoff setting. If you have to play a playoff setting in which you play the same person 2 weeks in a row, I think that's really that's not it. I don't like that at all. I don't like the back-to-back week, whoever has the highest points between the 2 matchups. I'd rather just be one and done. Just like tournament bracket style. It shouldn't be, this 2-week matchup. I know it makes it safer, so where if your team doesn't play well, but again, your team should play well through the playoffs, right? You've gotten there for a reason. If they don't play well, so be it. But yeah, I don't like playing a person 2 times in a row. I've never experienced it, but I know a lot of people play week 14, 15 against one team and then 16, 17 against another team. The fact that week 17 is even in your playoffs is an already bad idea because there's a lot of players that are pretty good starters that might not even play in week 17 because they've already clinched the number 1 playoff spot or, their teams are not going to play them and they want to rest. Yeah, I'm looking at C. Zettler's roster and I'm thinking to myself, do I want to keep Sanders, man? I mean, do I want to keep Devontae Adams? If Swift comes back, Kamara goes back to normal, you put Devontae Adams. Yeah, look, can you trust Devontae Parker rest of season? No. So maybe that's the only thing that scares me at this point. Rest of season, maybe not, especially when the matchups get a little tricky, when he has to play against like the Patriots or something like that. That's when it becomes when he has to play against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's when it becomes sketchy. All right, so we're at 9:30. I'm just going to give you all a fair warning. At about 9:55, I'm probably going to bow out here because I got to go make sure everything is good to go with all my rosters. Again, I got to manage 13 teams. Elijah Dillon says, Lockett, Hopkins, Diggs, Cooks, play 3. Hopkins, Diggs, Lockett. Thank you very much. Matt Ryan or Cam Newton? I'm going to probably go Matt Ryan there. Who else is in the chat? Let's see here. Johnson or CEH? I'm probably going to play CEH over Johnson. I'm assuming that's David Johnson, of course. Don Doda says, I'm stuck on my flex. Melvin Gordon, CeeDee Lamb, David Johnson, Kiki Cutie Lazard, full PPR. It's a good question. Honestly, between the group, I'm looking in... Honestly, I like either Melvin Gordon or CeeDee Lamb in this scenario. I think Melvin Gordon's the guy that I play, though, out of the group. Is Julio playing? Yes, Tom, he is. Let's see here. Okay, so what is this? Duana Donnie says, Andrew, I've been messaging you over an hour to answer one question. Full PPR, Booker, David Johnson, Montgomery, Gallman. Okay, so if you look on the screen over there at the running back section, regardless if it's full PPR or half PPR, it's pretty similar. You'll be able to really easily tell that I have no interest in David Johnson or Wayne Gallman this week in comparison to Booker or Montgomery. So you didn't have to, sit here for an hour. You could have just looked at the screen right next to me and been perfectly fine. Now, as for your second question, you had Metcalf, Allen Robinson, or Hopkins, or of course Robert Woods. Again, you can look at the screen next to me, updated rankings from this morning, and you can get that question answered. I don't get it. Like, I'm literally putting it out there. Like, it's right there. Like, just look at it. It's right there. Like, it's right there. I don't know. I try. I'm literally giving you guys free rankings. Like, I don't know. What was that? Okay, so Geo or CH? No, I think I'm gonna go CH there. Evans. I think I have to go CH there. Assuming if he doesn't play or somehow something else happens to where he's not going to be active, then you can go Le'Veon Bell in that scenario. Lenny V says, should I start Henry Ruggs or Myles Gaskin? Play with Myles Gaskin. John says, half PPR, Big Ben, Phillip Rivers. I'm going to go Big Ben there. Flex spot, Jamal Williams, Darrell Henderson, Kerryon Johnson. I'd play Jamal Williams at the flex. Thank you very much, John. Matty Ice or Carr, says Jeff Joyner. I'm probably going to play Matty Ice there. Can I ask why Reed over Ertz? Yeah, I mean, specifically because of the Buffalo matchup. In the way that I see Ertz, right? Like, if Ertz comes back and picks up the exact role that he left off with, he's going to be garbage, right? Because that's what he left off as. He wasn't playing well when he left. And to be honest, if it just ends up being, the same old Carson Wentz where he's not able to really get it done, and the only viable option is Dallas Goedert as a receiving option there, then we got a problem. So for right now, I'm thinking I want to be safe with Ertz. I don't want to 100% dive in on him and get too many shares of him, I don't know. It's tough. So for right now, I'm just leaning towards an offense that likes to throw to the tight end position, has an easy matchup against Buffalo, which again, I've mentioned they cannot stop the tight end. I'll go ahead and just reiterate that via stats. As of late, Hunter Henry, 7 catches, 67 yards. Jacob Hollister, 5 for 60 against them. Travis Kelce, 5 catches, 65, 2 touchdowns. Jonnu Smith, 5 catches, 40 yards, 2 touchdowns. Darren Waller, 9 catches, 88 yards. Tyler Higbee, 2 for 40. I mean, even Dan Arnold had 3 for 34. Mike Gesicki, 8 catches, 130 and a touchdown against the Buffalo defense. They have a tough time stopping tight ends. That's to say the very least. So I'm hoping they'll get Jordan Reed the ball. Andrew, we just want to hear you say it. Yeah, but like I literally typed in the rankings that are in that spreadsheet, right? Like, me saying it doesn't make it, like, I'm not going to change my mind on some of these things, right? Like, I might talk myself out of playing Kareem Hunt over Devontae Booker, but it's just a matter of like, okay, what is the scoring format? And even in a full PPR, can Devontae Booker catch the ball more than Hunt? I don't even think that's the case, right? Like, it's not going to make a big of a difference. So, like, it's tough. Like, I don't think I'll change my mind on a lot of these things. Unless there's newfound evidence of, like, an injury or somebody being out. Like, it's going to be hard to move me on some of my positions here. But I understand what you mean. You guys want to hear me say it. I get it. I 100% understand. Hopefully I didn't come off as an asshole there. Because, again, my point isn't to be an asshole. My point is just to be like, hey, guys, it's literally next to me. You can answer it by just looking at it. You don't have to be here for an hour. You can just hop in, look at it. If you want to hang out, great. That's perfectly fine. But otherwise, the rankings are next to me, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of them and help you win today. That's basically it. Derek sent in the question, said, when and I'm in. Need one running back, one wide receiver, and a flex. Starting Eckler at my RB1. AJ Brown is my wide receiver 1. My bench has Gaskin, Booker, Taylor, Diggs, Woods. All right, cool. So if you need a wide receiver, I'm going with Robert Woods as the wide receiver 2 there. If you're looking for an RB2, I'm going with Jonathan Taylor there. If we're going with a flex and we're looking between Diggs and Booker, what's the scoring format? If it's a half PPR, I'm probably going to play Diggs. So the 3 plays is Taylor, Diggs, Woods. Thank you very much, Derek. Hamza Mohammed says half PPR. Hines, Pittman, Perriman, Marvin Jones, pick 1. I'm playing Pittman. Thank you very much. Jay Holly 203 says Gibson, A-Rob, AJ Brown, Cooks, Gaskin, sit 1. If I'm sitting one out of the group, I'm going to sit, man, if it's a half PPR, I'm going to sit Brandon Cooks probably. If it's a full PPR, I'm sitting Gaskin. IB Russ 23 says pick 2, flex. Pick 2 in a flex, excuse me. Julio, Ridley, DeAndre Hopkins, Allen Robinson. I think I'm sitting Julio. Just based on I am worried about him. I'm not worried to the point where I'm not starting him if I don't have a better option, but you have better options, purely. You have A-Rob, DeAndre Hopkins, Ridley, who in my opinion are all better options than him this week, even before I think about injury. So as of right now, I'm just going to go with those other 3 wide receivers, leave Julio on the bench. Be good to go. Cine Phoenix says, do you think Robbie Anderson will have any good games in the next couple weeks? He plays Denver, Green Bay, Washington, and then New Orleans. To be honest, Denver should be a pretty good matchup. Green Bay, I'm not too worried about. Washington, I mean, even though Green Bay and Washington technically have better secondaries, I mean, it shouldn't be the worst thing. If McCaffrey comes back, that's my biggest issue, right? If 10 targets are going in the direction of the running back position, it could eventually in turn affect their value. But again, the only problem with Robbie Anderson is his inconsistency based on the fact that there are so many other receiving options. They're just taking volume away from him. But again, if it's Teddy Bridgewater, we know he likes to target Robbie, so you should be fine with that. Carlson Bang says Ravens defense or Dolphins defense this week. I'm going to go with the Dolphins defense. Allen Robinson or McLaurin. As you can see on screen to the left of me, we have Allen Robinson 1 spot over McLaurin, but just slightly because, again, Jeff Okuda, I don't know why I said it that way. I think I did it to troll you guys, is going to be out. Problem Bless says flex, Debo, Ayuk, Devontae Booker. I'm going to play Booker there. I got Thielen and Diggs as my starting wide receivers. Good, you've paired those guys back up again on the same team. Mostert and Eckler as my running backs. Also starting Drake and Higgins. Also got Drake and Higgins. Yeah, I'm going to play Booker there. Thank you very much, Problem Bless. Craig Newman says half PPR. Need a win to make the playoffs. Need an RB2. Taylor or Gallman. I'm playing Taylor there for sure. Flex. McLaurin, Deontay, Gallman, Taylor. I'm going to play McLaurin there at the flex. Tight end, Goddard or Ingram. I'm going to play Goddard. So, again, Craig, to reiterate, Taylor, McLaurin, Goddard. Thank you very much. Sab5128 says pick 2, full PPR. Michael Thomas, Ridley, Jefferson, A-Rob, AJ Brown. AJ Brown's an automatic start. Justin Jefferson's an automatic start. Good to go. The fact that you have to leave Ridley, Michael Thomas, and AJ or Allen Robinson on the bench is crazy, but AJ Brown and Jefferson are my go-to there. Chase Flory says flex Higgins, Crowder, or Tonyan. I don't want to touch Crowder. Between Tonyan and Higgins, I think we're going to go with Robert Tonyan, to be honest. I think he's just a safer play. He could probably catch the ball 5 times for 50 yards and be fine there and get you 10 points at very least. Savage Jihad says Jarvis or Dobbins in a full PPR. I think Jarvis is probably in a good spot today. I think he will play well, but I mean, in a full PPR, I think I'm still going Dobbins there. Tony K says pick 3, Booker, Gibson, Sanders, Jefferson. Jefferson, Gibson, Sanders. Tony, those are my 3. Full PP. Okay, so let's look at the chat really quickly. Full PPR, Carson or Dobbins. I'm playing Carson. Sam says Carson or Gaskin. I'm playing Carson. Astra Storm said, Storm says Jefferson or Thomas. I'm playing Jefferson. I have Tannehill. Should I start Corey Davis or Pittman? Not a bad option to go with Corey Davis there if you want the stack. Only if, of course, he scores a touchdown. That's the question. Do you think Corey Davis will score a touchdown instead of Michael Pittman? That's the biggest, differential. Seattle's defense is going to eat. Yes, they're going to eat for the next 2 weeks. That is for certain. Trubisky or Tua? I'm going to go Tua. I'm going to go Trubisky there. I don't know why I would say that. Let's see here. There's another question that came in. Carlson Bang says, Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Montgomery, Miles Sanders, Mostert, choose 3. Derrick Henry. What's the score? If it's a half PPR, I think we're pretty good going with Aaron Jones. Yeah, same team. And still going Miles Sanders. Oh, man. Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, Miles Sanders. Pray for the best. That's really it. I mean, you have so much talent there. It's like, I don't know. I think you can start any combination of 3 as long as Derrick Henry's in the lineup and still find success. But yeah, as of right now, I'm going Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Miles Sanders. Alexander Drucker says full PPR, start 3. Dalvin Cook is obvious. Gibson, Montgomery, Mostert, Kenyon Drake. Having trouble with benching Gibson after 36-point week, as am I. Therefore, out of starting 3, if you're already starting Dalvin Cook, the other 2 would be Gibson and Montgomery. Then after would be Mostert and then Drake. So, yeah, I'm starting Gibson, Montgomery, and Dalvin Cook in that specific scenario. Alexander, if you need another one after that, I would go Mostert over Drake. Saad Bukhari says, should I bench Parker for Dobbins in the flex? Risking Clyde starting. Okay, yeah, look, that's a good question. I'd honestly play Dobbins over Clyde at this point. So I'd leave Parker probably at the flex and then probably play Dobbins over Clyde. And then also you're saying Hurst, Hooper, or Ferksker. I play Hooper out of the group. Stephen Bowman says, would your ranking change with Tua starting for Gaskin? No, I've already implemented that via the rankings. I have Gaskin at that specific spot and Devontae Parker at that specific spot, and Gesicki at his current ranking based on Tua starting. Nathan Wood says half PPR Cooks or Julio in my flex. I'm going to play Julio there. Thank you very much. And then you also said Devontae Adams and DK are my starters. Woo, Nathan. You got a roster on you, dude. Holy moly. Fabian Hernandez says Thielen, Jefferson, Perriman. Choose 3, please. There's only 3 names there. So I think I'm going with Jefferson, Thielen, and Perriman, I think. I mean, it's only 3 names there. Okay. Gotcha Ba says Giovanni Bernardo, Latavius Murray. I'm playing Latavius Murray over him. Latavius is my suggestion there. Caterade C says full PPR. Start 2, Damian Harris, Gaskin, Gallman. I'm going to play Harris and Gaskin there. Thank you very much, Caterade. All right. Where are we at? Christian Ponce. If you can hear me, send in your message because it didn't get attached. Yes, just send in a message in the chat because it didn't get attached to your donation. What does it say? It says, hey, Andrew, I need some help figuring out who to start in a standard. This is from Drew Paulson. Dobbins, Jonathan Taylor, Gibson, or Booker. Out of the bunch, I'm probably going to go with Gibson and Taylor in this specific scenario. I'm still looking for, where's Chris Ponce? Nothing? Okay. We'll come back if he sends something. Steven Talbot says, half PPR, Hunt, Gallman, Booker, Deontay Johnson. Keep up the great work. Appreciate it. If I'm picking 3 out of the group, it's pretty simple here, Steven. I'm going Hunt, Booker, and Deontay Johnson. Thank you very much. As for Xavier Harper says, should I flex Julio or Booker? I think I'm probably going to go Julio in this specific scenario. If you want to play safe, you just need the points. You're already projected to win. You don't got to really flex on them really hard with a 20-point game and potential upside. Just go with Booker. He can get you a solid 13, 14 points and just be, good to go. Problem Bless says Herbert or Murray. I'm playing Herbert there. Thank you very much. Ryan Lowton says pick 3, Aaron Jones, Eckler, J-Rob, or Chubb. I'm playing Chubb, James Robinson, Austin Eckler, good to go. Let's see here. Phil in the chat is saying Seahawks defense or Browns defense. Play Seahawks today, Phil. Okay, where was we at? Let me see if I could find. Where's Chris Ponce? Okay, half PP. Okay, this is for Christian Ponce. It says half PPR must win for the playoff position, flex position. T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Corey Davis. I'm playing Corey Davis out of the group. Denzel Ward's out, and the Cleveland Browns don't have a good secondary. Okay, so the only other person that we were looking for is Luis Gloria. Let's see here. Okay, Marvin Jones, Nyheim Hines, Sterling Shepard for the flex. Luis, I'm gonna go with Sterling Shepard there. Appreciate it. If it's a full PPR, I'm gonna go Sterling Shepard. If it's a half PPR, I'm probably gonna go Nyheim Hines. Yeah. Fabian Hernandez says I meant choose two. My bad. Okay, Fabian, where was your question? Let me go ahead and so you're saying Thielen? Yeah, I'm gonna play Thielen and Jefferson. I'm not gonna touch Perriman. You got to be kidding me, Fabian. Come on, man. Yeah, Thielen and Jefferson. I play both of them. Valentine says Chris Carson or Kamara. I'm playing Chris Carson. Chill Will says, hey, you. Thank you very much, Chill Will. Do you have a question or just the emo and you're chilling? Oh, he did have a question. Full PPR. Carson versus Jonathan Taylor versus Deontay Johnson. I'm playing Chris Carson. Thank you very much. Gerardo Hernandez says, Boyd, Drake, Julio, pick two. I'm playing Drake and Julio. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, Gerardo. Just Sherman 4 says Akers or Latavius Murray. I'm playing Latavius Murray. Dio Good sent in one, but it didn't get attached to it. Dio Good. Let's see if we can find your question. Hopefully we can. Nothing yet. Okay. Joshua Kendrick says, I need a miracle. Am I stupid for hoping Hollywood will get targets? Or should I just roll with Christian Kirk or Hooper? You know, I honestly thought about having Marquise Brown as my number 36 wide receiver today. I think he's like either 37 or 38. I have him ahead of Christian Kirk this week. So I don't think it's stupid. So I'd honestly play him. If it's my team, I'd play him over Christian Kirk and Hooper today. A rock out says CH, Claypool, Pittman, non-PPR. I'm playing Claypool out of the bunch. Appreciate a rock out. Where are we at? Dio didn't send in anything. All right. It's unfortunate. Where are we at? Noah Fant or Evan Ingram? Honestly, I'm going to go with Noah Fant there because Evan Ingram has Colt McCoy at quarterback. Andrew must-win game. Derek Carr, Trubisky, or Taysom Hill. I'm going to play 6 point per passing touchdown format. Ooh. You got yourself a tricky scenario here, huh? I think I'm still going to go Taysom there, but Trubisky's not far behind. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, I think I'm still going Taysom in that scenario. Murray versus Kamara. It's against my religion not to play Alvin Kamara this week. It would kill me if I don't play him and he goes for 2 touchdowns or something like that. It would. My soul would be crushed. Why are you down on Higgins when he scored? Just because he scored doesn't mean anything, to be honest. He scored 1 touchdown. Do you know how they got down to the end zone in that scenario? Tyler Boyd had an end zone target that was a defensive pass interference because 3 guys literally mauled him in the end zone because they didn't want him to score. So they wouldn't have been on the 1 yard line in that scenario in the first place if it wasn't for Tyler Boyd taking him down the field. There's context to everything. Also, the coverage in Miami is no joke. That's why I'm down on Higgins. Okay, so we had a couple more questions flying here. So the Dio Good did send in a question. Said pick 2 Diggs, Allen Robinson, D-Hop. Got a good question there. Out of the group, I'm playing Allen Robinson and DeAndre Hopkins. Thank you very much, Dio Good. So a couple more questions. I think Victor sent in one, but it wasn't attached. So let me see if I can find Victor's question. Nothing from Victor. Yeah, I don't see anything from Victor. Zendaya Kimber says Tua or Hill. I'm going to play Taysom Hill there. Thank you very much. Craig Newman says, last question, half PPR, need a defense. Dolphins or Raiders? Good work. Keep up. Okay, so as of between the two, I think the Dolphins are the safer play. I think the Raiders defense, though they are good, they could make some mistakes. I think the Dolphins they have a knack for causing turnovers and playing well on special teams, getting punt returns. So I'm going to go Dolphins there. Valentine says Taysom Hill or go with Jared Goff. I'm going to go Taysom Hill there. Victor sent in another question because the first one didn't work. Said Noah Fant or Jerry Jeudy in the flex, half PPR. I'm probably going to go with Jerry Jeudy there. Thank you very much. Even though Kansas City has given up a ton of points to tight ends recently, I don't know if Noah Fant transitions well into 100% getting a lot of those. Jack, why are you laughing at the fact that I said my soul would be crushed? It would. It literally would be crushed. CB says pick 2, Amari, Juju, Corey Davis, Pittman. Amari Cooper and Michael Pittman are my suggestions between those groups of players. C-Max says Deontay Johnson or Booker, half PPR. I think I'm still going with Devontae Booker, and Deontay Johnson in that scenario. Eric Bracker says pick 2, Marvin Jones, Evan Ingram, Robert Tonyan. I'm probably going Tonyan and Marvin Jones. Thank you very much. 666 likes. No. Someone's got to change that, guys. Someone's got to change that. Vital Awakening just pointed it out to me. Someone's got to change that, please. Either take away your like or move it up. Preferably move it up, but we can't be sitting at the 666 number right now, okay? We're not going to have... That's going to give us a curse this week for fantasy. We're all going to get screwed over, okay? Somebody change it. Somebody change it. We're going to have problems. Somebody change it. Thank you. Somebody... Okay. Whew. It's going to be a problem real quick. I got scared there for a second. My goodness. Adam sent in a question. Says Jonathan Taylor, Claypool, or Debo. I'm going to play Taylor and Claypool. Thank you very much. All right. I'm leaving in 3 minutes. No more questions via donation. We're done there. We're closing there. Shop has been closed. I got to answer a couple more of these Patreon questions. I'll do that as soon as I log off here. Vital Awakening is going to say Aguilar goes off today. Yeah, if it stayed at 666, Aguilar would have gone off today. It could have worked technically for some of you guys, but I don't think, yeah. Why Rudolph ahead of Fant, my guy? I just think that Fant isn't an automatic success. He's had better matchups earlier this season, and just as of late, he hasn't been able to get enough targets to even kind of 100% deem himself as a viable option. So that's why I'm just afraid of. Dude, we should just be at 666 all the time. We literally went up 100. We ended up 100 likes because of that. My goodness. I love you guys. You're the best. A Vital Awakening, that was clutch, dude. That was absolutely clutch. So anyway, Dilo says, why is Rudolph ahead of Fant? Yeah, I'm just thinking like Rudolph's opportunity as of late and his production as of late has exceeded my expectation and has definitely outplayed Fant. And unless Fant is scoring touchdowns, I think Rudolph has just as much of an opportunity to score this week. And that's why he's ahead. Epic Ponage sent in another question. I don't know if there's a message attached to it. Doesn't seem like there is. Is my screen broke? What the heck? My keyboard just not working sometimes, huh? Epic Ponage says, already starting Derrick Henry and Kamara. Do I go Giovanni Bernard or Latavius Murray? I go with Latavius Murray there. Epic Ponage, thank you very much. Raymundo says, start flex, sit 2. Okay, 1 flex, sitting 2. Edmonds, Akers, Lazard, Malcolm Brown. I'm starting Alan Lazard at the flex. Yeah. If you have 4 options there. So if we're starting 2 flexes, I'm starting Lazard and Akers, and I'm benching Edmonds and Malcolm Brown. Oh, is that Marquise Brown? If that's Marquise Brown, we're playing him. If that's Hollywood Brown, I'm playing Hollywood Brown. If you can start... Okay, let's put it in this order, Raymundo, just so we're on the same page. I'd go Hollywood Brown, Lazard, Akers, Edmonds, in that order. Do with it as you may. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyone in the chat have Aguilar and Shepard? Who are you starting? Dark Winter, I'm starting Shepard. I don't know if I can trust Aguilar, man. He's had an ankle injury all week, missed a couple practices. It's sketchy. That's all it is. What is this? It says, do you have to beat me to get into playoffs? No. I get in with total points scored and a tied record. LOL. Okay. Julio or Brandon Cooks? I'm going Brandon Cooks, Julian. Lockett or Marvin Jones? Adrian, I'm going to go Lockett. Latavius Murray or Perriman? Come on, guys. We're going to go Latavius there. I wouldn't play Perriman, right? Okay. Yep, 9:56. Thank you, everybody, for coming by. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel a lot. Tomorrow, we'll do some waiver wires. Hopefully, we can make the playoffs for everybody tomorrow. I'm hoping. Right now, I'm going to end the stream, but I'm hoping that very soon, I'm about to go. I'm going to go grab a Bible. I'm going to go on, sit on my knees, and I'm going to pray to God. Okay, whatever fantasy God, I don't care. I'm going to pray to a God that Miles Sanders, Jonathan Taylor, David Montgomery, Alvin Kamara, Dobbins, all these guys play fantastic. I'm going to go pray for you guys. I'm going to go pray for my teams as well because I need some help this week. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys supporting the channel all season long. Tomorrow, waiver wire. Until then, I'll see you guys. Peace.